Alright, this is John Cullen with DiscountJuicers.com, and I'm with my beautiful girlfriend,
Lauren. Hello, everyone.
And I have a special episode for you guys today, and it's going to be very fun because actually Lauren and I, we have a bet today, and I figured no better time to make a video to share with you guys our little bet that's going on in between us. And basically the situation is this: Lauren buys these bottled jugs of water. She refills them at the store with 2 gallons of filtered reverse osmosis water, and I want to encourage you guys to drink a filtered water, not just your tap water, because your tap water may contain things like chlorine and the fluoride and other chemicals in there, and they're not probably too healthy for you. And so she was thinking, yeah, man, that's a lot of water, and I know that water is about maybe 8 pounds, a gallon. And we bought this big watermelon, which was only $6 for this whole thing, and this nearly weighs 20 pounds. And I was betting Lauren, we were looking at it on the counter, like, if you look at these two things side by side, like, this thing's a little bit bigger than this thing. And I'm like, there's more water in the watermelon than water in this jug. And she's like, no way. And I'm like, yeah way. So what we're doing today is we're going to juice the watermelon to find out if there's more water in the watermelon than one of these juice jugs. And we have a special bet happening. So Lauren, what's the bet?
Oh,
what's your part of the bet?
Well, if I win and John loses, then we're going to have to go to Barton Springs, which is like a really cold spring in Austin. And John doesn't like cold water, but I don't mind it so much, and I like going to Barton Springs. So that's what's going to happen if I win, and then if you win... Yeah, so if I win, because I like YouTube so much, I'm going to find a crazy video on YouTube. I don't know what kind of video yet. And whatever's in the video, she has to do it. So if it's like making a recipe or something, she's going to have to make me the recipe, or if it's doing some crazy dance or who knows what, she's going to have to do whatever in the video. And this is just kind of like how we have fun. Yeah. Yeah.
We bet on how much water's in the watermelon. So to give you guys a heads up, this the weight of this, because we did weigh these in advance, this is about 21 pounds in the container. This watermelon's about 19 pounds, 14 ounces, and then this empty container, which is where we're going to put all the watermelon juice that I'm juicing, weighs about 1 pound. So it's going to be really close. Now, online sources say that watermelon is like 92% water. So if watermelons are in fact 92% water, and the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer is efficient at getting the water out, more than 92%, then actually I may win. But if it's just 92% and the Kuvings is not efficient, then I lose. Then I blame it on the Kuvings juicer because it wasn't efficient. So that's pretty much the bet. Now I want to let you guys know that we do need to stay hydrated, and hydration is super critical and super important to your health. And while you can drink water to get hydrated, I always encourage you guys to drink a structured living water. So my favorite water, and I think maybe Lauren's too, is coconut water. And that's water filtered by the coconut palm, and it goes into the coconut. But after that, I really like to drink fruit and vegetable waters. So something like celery juice with cucumbers, blended, juiced up in there, is super delicious, super hydrating. And besides just the water content of fruit and vegetable juices, you're also getting other things such as vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, and phytonutrients, that are essential for our life. The vitamins and minerals, we need these things to stay alive, and in water, maybe they may have some minerals depending on how the water was filtered. But the minerals in the fruit and vegetables are much more assimilatable by us, because they're in a more organic instead of inorganic form that's in the water, because they've been filtered already through the plant and put into the plant. So I mean, in my opinion, plants are the best water filters, bar none. In addition, the water that you find in fruits and vegetables is a living, structured water. So the water out of the reverse osmosis has been forced through pipes and forced through a membrane to take out all the minerals and contaminants, and it's really not a living water. And if you looked at the works of Dr. Emoto in Japan, he takes pictures with a high-power microscope of like water crystals, and like water that's not happy is just like really fragmented and looking crazy, and water that's happy and structured is like really brilliant, nice snowflake-like crystals, right? And so that's all the crystals of the water in all the juices you're making. So that's just yet another benefit of using the juices. Do you have any comments on this, Laura?
Oh, well, in the beginning when we were making the bed, I thought John just meant juicing the watermelon fruit, but he's juicing the rind too, so that makes it a little bit more scary for me.
Yeah, I like to. I'm not really cheating here, but normally many people think of juicing, they just cut off the skin of the vegetables or the fruits and then they juice it, right? I want to encourage you guys always to juice the skins if they would normally be edible. So like, for example, we know that most of the nutrition in carrots is near the skin. Most of the nutrition in the apples is near the skin. So you want to be juicing those skins too. And much like same in the watermelon. You know, there's plenty of times when I've actually cut the skin off the watermelon and juiced it for its sweet, delicious juice. Obviously on something like orange, you will want to remove the peeling because there are some indigestible chemicals in the outside orange peel of the orange and tangerine and grapefruit, but you can juice that white pith where actually most of the nutrients are. But on the watermelon, you know, a lot of the nutrients are actually in the outside, the skin itself. I mean, look at this. This is dark green, you know, much like leafy green vegetables, and this is where all the chlorophyll is, and there's nutrients in here, right? And it's completely edible, but most people chuck out the watermelon. Now, worms, if you're composting your watermelon rinds, they love watermelon rinds. But normally you wouldn't eat this because it doesn't necessarily taste good. But the beauty of the juicer is when you're able to extract the delicious chlorophyll-rich, you know, vitamins, minerals, and phytochemicals out of the rind, plus all the nutrients and vitamins, minerals, and sugars from the inside into one juice. It really mellows out the juice. So it's not super sweet, just juicing the inside. You're getting a well more balanced living juice or living water full of nutrients as well. And if the watermelon's a good one, then you're really not going to taste the rind too much. And especially this one, I think it's going to be pretty ripe.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this. All right. So what we're going to do is today we're going to use a juicer to do this. You know, I'm not going to be blending up the watermelon. You know, some of my cohorts on YouTube may show blending watermelon to make watermelon juice. Now, that's a blended watermelon smoothie. It's not a juice because when you blend, you're keeping all the fiber. And if I want to blend this, if I did blend this up in the blender and then we fill the container, number one, it wouldn't really come out the spigot because it'd be too thick. But number two, I would probably win at that point because when you do blend things, actually you create more volume. Like, how are you creating stuff out of thin air, John? Well, think about it. When you're blending at the blades are spinning at like 20,000 RPMs plus in a Vitamix. You're actually aerating the mixture. So when you're aerating the mixture, that oxidizes the mixture. The nutrition goes down. You're adding micro air bubbles to the mixture. That's actually partly how the blender works. And you create more volume. So, you know, we do not want to do that because we do not want to aerate whatever we're eating. You know, that reduces the amount of nutrition in there and antioxidants. You know, in a study where they've actually juiced some broccoli in a slow juicer, blended broccoli, and they juiced broccoli in a high-speed juicer, there is 50% more cancer-fighting protection from the juice made in the slow juicer when they did it, a test tube testing of the actual cancer in test tubes. So, you know, I don't know about you guys, but I want the most amount of cancer protection. And as you guys may know, the watermelon, much like tomatoes, contain lycopene, and this may be a valuable phytonutrient that may protect against things like cancer and other diseases. So I want to really maximize these nutrients in the juices I'm drinking. Now, you know, I did a recent test maybe about a year ago now with a whole class of like 30 people where I juiced watermelon in a slow juicer, a high-speed juicer, and a blender, and I got to sample that out to everybody in the audience, and I had everybody vote on which one they liked the best. And nobody said they liked the blended watermelon, nobody said they liked the high-speed watermelon, but everybody said they liked the juiced watermelon by far. So, you know, in the slow juicer. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and get juicing. So one of the things I like about the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer and why I'm using this juicer today is because it actually has a nice wide 3-inch feed chute. So this means that I'll have to not cut the watermelon up into little itty bitty tiny pieces like many vertical slow juicers that I would use. Now, one of the negatives of the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer is that it does tend to put more pulp in the juice. So actually, we'll be using a little strainer here to remove all the fiber that comes out to make sure we only get the juice or the living water out of the watermelon. I do like that the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer runs at a low and slow 60 RPM, so that's really low. And basically you put the produce in there, and it works by this little auger in here. And literally what happens is you put the produce in here, and literally the produce is crushed and squeezed, and all the liquid comes out the front here, and the pulp comes out the side. And so I have juiced watermelon in the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer before, and the Kuvings is pretty efficient, and then I'm going to win, and if not, Lauren's going to win, and I'm going to have to face the frigid waters of Barton Springs. Oh no! Alright, so let's go ahead and cut this guy open. And you know, many guys ask like, John, what's that white knife you're using? Is it a plastic knife? Well, so this is a ceramic knife, and I like using ceramic knives. You know, they stay sharper longer instead of metal knives. And oh man, check out this watermelon, look at that. And that's a nice watermelon in there. So basically we're just gonna go ahead and cut this up, rind it all, and just start juicing this up. We're gonna go ahead and place this down. All right, so we're cutting up this watermelon. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and just cut big pieces and put it in a bowl. And we'll have Lauren do that while I turn the juicer on, and we're gonna just start literally juicing the pieces here. So one of the things I like about the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer is that you should not really be using the pusher, because whatever you drop in there, it'll kind of take up and just kind of like suck in, and it'll juice on its own. And this goes relatively quickly, you know, just dropping pieces in, and it gets juiced. So as you guys can see, we got the pulp coming out here, and we got a lot of juice coming out, but this is a lot of fiber, and if the fiber weighs more than like a pound, then I'm a goner, then I'm gonna lose. And I don't know, at this point, it looks like there's a lot of fiber coming out of the juicer. All right, so I'm continuing to juice, and Lauren is continuing to cut the watermelon up. And this is actually making a fair bit of pulp in the little strainer here. So we're straining that out, and it's making a fair bit of pulp too. So I think I'm gonna be a little bit concerned, because I think I'm gonna have to bear the frigid waters at Barton Springs. Hopefully we'll go on a nice hot day, so it'll be refreshing. So I mean, that's one of the things about the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, as much as I like it, because it actually does have a wide feed chute. It makes feeding the produce easily, like when you're juicing things like fruits, which it actually does quite a good job on. When juicing things like leafy greens and celery, I do still recommend you cut the leafy greens and celery into like 1/8-inch pieces, because it will get stuck in the juicer. So it looks like we've pretty much got one whole collection cup here of the juice. We're going to go ahead and put the stopper down, and we're going to go ahead and move that out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and bring in another one. We're going to go ahead and take the pulp here, and I want to show you guys how much pulp is in there. I'm going to go ahead and shake all the juice out. Alright, so check out this. This is a lot of pulp that the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer generated, you know, when making the juice. So this pulp is not going to be included in the test. And what I like to do normally is actually just pour the pulp through, because the pulp's still kind of wet, and the juicer will be more efficient at now extracting some of the juice out of that pulp and getting it in the container. So I have every possibility of winning this bet. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and move these to the side here, and I want to show you guys the levels. So this is actually just the standard water level, and this is the empty container level here. And we're going to take this off, and every time I fill up one of these containers with the watermelon juice, Lauren's going to pour it in there so we can see how much it yields. So we'll let her do that while I continue juicing in the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. Now, one of the things I want to caution you guys against, you know, I know some of you guys like to use the feature of your juicer, such as the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, with this little spout cap, and like keep it plugged up and let the juice kind of collect inside there. I actually want to warn you against doing that, you know. Now, you know, the main reason is because while you can mix your juices if you're like juicing a couple different things inside the machine, what I've noticed also happens is that the pulp coming out is wetter. So ultimately, Lauren would want me to keep that shut, because the pulp will be wetter. That means there'll be less juice, so she has a better chance of winning. I want to keep that open to make the most amount of juice, because I'm going to need every little bit of help I could get. I mean, wow. So as you guys can see, the pulp that's being generated, this is already pretty heavy. And I think, actually, I'm probably going to be losing at this point. So don't bet your girlfriend this same better. If you do, at least get a watermelon that weighs like 5 extra pounds in the water. Alright, so it looks like I filled up my next little 4-cup measuring cup of the juice. And this is just your standard Anchor Hawking measuring cup. I like to use this to collect my juice in glass instead of the plastic BPA-free collection cups that come with the juicer. And once again, we're going to go ahead and take this, and we're going to go ahead and sift out all the pulp. Now, one of the things that Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer does not come with, which I've told them many times they should include, is an inexpensive strainer, such as this one. Actually, we got this actually at the dollar store. So, you know, I do recommend you get a strainer if you don't like pulp in your juice, because, you know, the Kuvings will produce, you know, some pulp in the juice. Now, the pulp, you could keep it in the juice and drink it if you don't mind pulp in your juice. Like some people like the orange juice with the pulp and some people don't. You know, I personally like a juice without the pulp. I mean, there are benefits to the pulp. And, you know, it's just like more of a preference thing for me. Now, I know some of you guys might be thinking, John, you know, you're juicing the watermelon, man, you're removing all the fiber. Well, that's technically wrong. I'm not removing all the fiber. There are two different kinds of fiber. There's actually soluble fiber and insoluble fiber. So the soluble fiber is a kind that's water soluble, and that's the kind that dissolves in water. And so we're getting all the water soluble fiber when we're juicing the watermelon. We are removing the insoluble fiber, the kind of fiber that does not dissolve, you know, in water. So, you know, we're still getting fiber, and based on my research, it's the insoluble fiber that slows down the absorption of the sugars into the bloodstream. In addition, there may be other elements and other phytochemicals and phytonutrients in the watermelon, such as there are in apples, that actually also slow down the absorption of the sugars in the fresh fruits we eat. So yeah, so I'll say that. So let's go ahead and hand you this next pitcher here, Lauren. And I'll take this one, and I'm going to go ahead and continue to juice in the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer. Alright, so it looks like I filled up another container here, so that's going quite well. I'm going to go ahead and turn this baby off, put that stopper down, and once again we're going to go ahead and take this out and strain off all the fiber in here. So if you guys look, we got like maybe like, I don't know, man, a quarter of the pitcher full, and we still got a whole bunch of watermelon juice, like over half the watermelon. But I think, like, my estimation at this point is we might make like 3/4 of the container. But the watermelon juice is going to taste good anyways, even if I have to face the frigid waters of Barton Springs. Alright, so let's go ahead and pour this pulp in there and trade it out. Alright, so it looks like we've created about, 4 containers of the watermelon juice from this watermelon here. And we're going to go ahead and once again strain this out. This is actually a bit full this time. And so each one of these containers is about 32 ounces of juice. So that means we've created 1 gallon of watermelon juice, and it looks like I got a gallon left, but we've already juiced more than half of the watermelon. So this is not looking good for me. All right, so let's go ahead and switch these guys out. Pour the pulp in the top here. Oh, and what I want to recommend for you guys is you know, when you guys purchase watermelons to juice, you know, we got a seedless watermelon. There are a few seeds in here. I would always encourage you guys to purchase watermelons with the seeds. Actually, number one, they're cheaper at the store if your store has them. But number two, the watermelon seeds actually contain nutrients in there, and the juicer is powerful enough to literally grind up the seeds and extract some of the nutrients that are in the seeds into your juice, and it's going to make the juice taste just a little bit better. So yeah, that's one of the tips for you guys. Let's go ahead and continue to juice this watermelon. Like, look at this nice large piece, man. This will fit nice and easily into the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer without any further cutting. Alright, so it looks like we got another container full. So that's, I think, what, the 5th container here of the juice. So I think in total we would need 8 containers full total for me to win this bet. And we're getting close. I don't know if we're going to make 8. I think we're going to make 7 for sure, maybe. But I got to strain every last bit of this juice out. Now, I do want to let you guys know, you know, if you're making this much watermelon juice, like, this will not keep for a week in the fridge. Like, do not let this keep in the fridge in this, like, container. Actually, don't let any juice stay for a week in your fridge. All juices, no matter what, you know, you should definitely drink within 3 days. But even better than that, I recommend not storing your juices over 24 hours. So, you know, for the next 24 hours, we're going to be drinking all this juice. And actually, this juice we're making right now is actually part of our breakfast, actually. So we can't wait to get done with this juicing. So let's go ahead and open that up, and we'll continue juicing. All right, so we're on the 6th 32-ounce container, you know, that we filled up now. We're going to go ahead and turn this, shut it, and we're going to go ahead and strain out the juice here. So each one of these is 4 cups, and basically 4 of these is 1 gallon, so we need 8 total to fill up that thing completely. And here we go, Lauren. So man, we're getting real close, and I'm getting real thirsty. I think we'll continue to juice. All right, looks like I'm getting a little bit rambunctious, and we got to go ahead and stop this because it's going to overflow. And we'll go ahead and put that stopper down. And we got a fair bit of pulp in here. So we got a nice, large, full container. So this is the 7th container. So if we're able to fill up this last container with this one piece of watermelon, then I'm gonna win. I don't think that's happening. So I think I lost, and I think what I want to show you guys is that we got a whole thing of pulp here, and if the Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer was a little bit more efficient, I think I may have won. I mean, we're gonna take the pulp here and maybe like squeeze it out for you guys, and look at that. We could squeeze it out, and I could squeeze a few drops, but we're mostly squeezing pulp through my hand, so it's actually done a fairly good job. One of the things I want to encourage you guys to do, you know, after you put the last piece in, sometimes I like to just take a handful of the pulp that I just got out and just put that through, and that'll help basically push that last piece that's quite juicy, you know, through the machine to extract a little bit more of the juice. Now, while you could rejuice the pulp for more juice, and you would get probably a little bit more out, in many cases it's just going to clog up and back up the juicer, and you're not going to get a lot of the juice out, and it's just going to make pretty much a mess, so I don't really recommend doing that. Let's go ahead and close this stopper for the last time, and let's go ahead and take this guy out and shake it down, and look at that nice little pulp patty here. And this is pretty much how much juice we got out of the last bit, and check it out. I mean, that one 20-pound watermelon made a lot of juice, but it didn't quite make as much juice as I thought it would.
That's right.
Alright, so the cool thing is now is we're going to go ahead and get the tap off the fresh watermelon juice. Alright, now we get to enjoy fresh watermelon juice for breakfast. Alright, so now we got our juices filled up. Now, check out this nice, rich, dark color. You know, it didn't make a green color because the rind, we had a lot of rich, dark lycopene in there, and that was the overall color that dominated, but it's a nice, rich, like, burgundy kind of watermelon juice color. So let's go ahead and try the juice, honey.
Okay.
Mmm. What do you think?
It's really, really good.
Is that better than drinking water?
Yes.
This is like so full of like vibrancy, full of life, full of vitamins and minerals, just a tad bit of sweetness. It's not overly sweet.
Yeah. I like it more than regular watermelon juice without the rind. I like it. Like, this is like my favorite watermelon juice.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't juiced the watermelon with the rind, make sure you get an organic one so it's not sprayed with pesticides and all this kind of stuff, and that's when you would juice the rind. And it makes a nice, really balanced flavor. It's not just sickly sweet like some juices, but it's really good because it's more balanced, and oh man, it's just hitting the spot. Now you might be thinking, John, man, that's a lot of watermelon juice, but just between us right here, this is a half gallon. It made almost, you know, 1 3/4 gallons in all, and if we just fill this up again, we'll have half of that gone, and later today, throughout the day, because it's a hot day outside, we'll drink some of this instead of water, and it'll be gone. Now, one of the things I want to let you guys know is, number one, I do not necessarily recommend storing your juices in a container like this for one very important reason. Like, this spigot here is going to get all kind of funky, like with carotenoids or lycopenes or whatever, the sugars and the juice, so I only recommend you guys use these for like water. We just did this just for this demo, and now we're going to have to like take it apart and wash it out really good. And the other thing I want to say is, if you do end up juicing a watermelon and having this much juice and you can't drink it all, you know, there's two good ways I was thinking you guys could store it. Number one is you could basically make watermelon ice cubes. So you could take this and put it in an ice cube tray and then freeze it, and then use that in different drinks or in blended smoothies, for example. And you could also put this in like a wine bottle with like a wine saver. So it basically sucks out the air out of a bottle, and that'll ensure your juice stays fresher longer because it's pulling out the air so it cannot oxidize. I think the final thing and final comment I'd like to say is that I want to always encourage you guys to eat more fruits and vegetables, and simply the juicer is just a simple tool to do just that. Any final comments, Lauren?
No, but I'm looking forward to going to Barton Springs.
Alright, so I guess I'll be going to Barton Springs with Lauren, and I'll be enjoying myself, and hopefully we'll go on a hot day. And she won this bet. Maybe I'll win the bet in the future. I was close though. We were close, and the juicer was more efficient, and there was more water in the watermelon.
Yeah, excuses.
But anyways, the watermelon juice is good, and I'm glad to be drinking it with my sweetie. Hopefully you guys buy a juicer and be able to enjoy it with you and share the blessings of fruits and vegetables with your family so that they can start eating healthier as well. If you're interested in purchasing a Kuvings Whole Slow Juicer, be sure to visit me and support me at discountjuicers.com. Once again, my name is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com, and be sure to visit discountjuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for YouTube visitors. This is John Kohler with discountjuicers.com. Through another exciting episode for you. In this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to share with you guys how to make a tomato paste out of fresh tomatoes using a juicer. Now, I always encourage you guys to eat as much fresh fruits and fresh vegetables as possible.